Hello and welcome to this episode of WeTalk, where it's packed with different views and ideas about issues trending across China. I'm Zheng Chunying in Beijing. Well, graduation season is in full swing. Young Chinese students are waiting what they hope will be the admission letter from their dream universities after wrapping up their high school education through the infamous Gaokao, or college entrance exam, an exam which virtually every single Chinese has a story to tell, whether good, bad, or indifferent. So for more stories and discussions on Gaokao and Chinese education, we are glad to have Anjiu joining us today.
Hi. I don't have a story to tell about Gaokao because I've never took the high school entrance examination myself.
But we'll talk about that later. And then what about you? Mr. Zhang Bo,
Yes.
he's the anchor of CGTN Arabian, right?
I serve as a CGTN Arabic channels anchor, and I once in a while show up in CGTN English channel as well in previous years. Talking about Gaokao, college entrance examination, I think you select
The right person?
the right person because both of us didn't took the so-called the formal college entrance examination, but for me, I myself took my own college entrance examination. It's called 小语种单独招生考试, literally could be translated into specially set of examinations.
Kind of like a sidebar of
Exactly.
Take it in Arabic?
Right, I chose the Arabic language and its literature as a major ahead of time, and then I rushed into the final, and then I went.
What were the subjects?
The three subjects were math, English, and Chinese.
And you took math in Arabic?
Oh, not really.
Oh, okay.
Before I studied Arabic, I took the three subjects exams only, and then I was admitted.
So the exam tests you mathematics and Chinese to make sure that he's smart enough to learn Arabic.
It's my own Gaokao, I guess.
So what was the summer like?
Oh, after the examinations, because I was kind of free ahead of time, so I was told I felt released the moment I took that kind of paper of admission. I almost burst into laughter, and both laughter and tears at that very moment. I remember, if I remember correctly, I wrapped my bags and my books and all the learning materials and rushed that, 12 years of hardship or study. I really enjoyed myself.
But what about your other classmates who are not lucky enough to get rid of the tougher Gaokao?
Exactly.
What
I
are
was
some of the
lucky.
impressions about them or their lives?
Tension and a lot of being nervous like that, because it was the year of 2003, so which actually resembled the SARS year. So there are a lot of, right now it's coronavirus, at that period of time it was SARS. So a lot of tension that actually added a lot of more tension to the students as well as the teacher, as well as all the process related to Gaokao, the series of preparation. So they felt nervous. And what was worse, if I remember right, the problems, the tests were extremely difficult.
Oh, really?
Compared to previous year's Gaokao. So yeah, that was their story, but I was lucky. You said it right.
Okay. Well, what about you? You didn't say Gaokao, but you took SAT instead for U.S. universities.
TOEFL, SAT 2.
So how do you compare the two different test systems? Like,
I think they're very different. First of all, there's only one Gaokao each year, right? But there are like 6, 7, 8 SATs each year you can take. So you have a second, third, fourth chance every year. And second, there are less subjects in SAT. I think right now there are only 2 mandatory subjects, math and reading plus grammar. There's no composition, like it's not mandatory. You can choose to take it, but the full score became, I think, 1,600 It used to be 2,400. So.
And also the score you got from SAT test or TOEFL test, that's not the only criteria when it comes to the admission of a college or university. That's is one of the big difference.
I think so. There are also like essays, personal statements, interviews, extracurricular activities,
Cover letter.
legacy, legacy stuff, and cover letter, letters of recommendation, like a ton of things you can do in addition of taking the SAT test.
Yes, but and for me, I think another very interesting thing about Gaokao that is different from the tests from other countries is that the support a student could gain across the country. You know, construction work, noisy construction work is halted, traffic is diverted, and even ambulances are put on call just to ensure every student could, you know, do the test in as convenient as possible.
Right.
So why such a test could have such a big impact across China to everyday's life?
Because it's like your only chance, isn't it?
It's like kind of a public holiday or a public, or it's a nationwide event.
And she mentioned that quoting it as once in a lifetime chance. I think it's like in Arabic we say silah du haddain, meaning every coin has two sides. The brighter side, it's a good opportunity and chance for most of the people, especially people with no backgrounds, so-called backgrounds. Right.
Because for our parents' generation, we believe that we relate a lot excelling at school to the chances of a person's success, you know, in life. And that's why we have to prepare from a very early age. We have to excel at school to perform good at school. And also in our traditional value, we value so much of hard work instead of innate ability. So that's why Chinese students are hardworking, and they work very hard for decades, for years, just to get well in the final exam.
I have a question just to pop out. Do you think the college entrance examinations are fair enough to be able to be a qualification for most of the people?
Well, there's no absolute fair in this world, I think.
I think it's as fair as it can be.
Right.
Yes.
There's no
Right.
fair way.
Yeah, we cannot say it's absolutely fair for everyone, but we just cannot, we just hardly sort out a fairer way, a more fair way, right? Especially for those from humble background, as you just mentioned. It's kind of like the only social ladder for them to move up in this
I
world.
agree. I feel like I'm biased. Like I'm not the one to say whether Gaokao is important or not because I'm privileged enough to opt out of it, and my family could support me to go to a college, you know, overseas, and that's why I could afford not taking Gaokao. But what about people who can't afford not taking the exam? Like I would still say for them it's important and it's like once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yes. Talking about the brighter side, brighter and darker side. Let's talk more about the brighter side now. Like you didn't sit in Gaokaos, you didn't sit Gaokao actually, but you did go through the entire 12 years in Chinese education system. So how do you think the Chinese K-12 education prepared you for the higher education abroad?
Oh, I think all the Chinese students almost all the Chinese students I knew in the States, they're good at math and they have higher GPAs, like a 3.7. Maybe an average American kid would think that's pretty high, but for Chinese students, that's like minimum. We definitely have higher standards for ourselves, and we aim for higher grades, and we're good at taking tests.
Why do you think we're good at taking tests? Do you think we're born to take tests, or we're born to be better, or as a result of the whole education system?
I think, I don't know about others, but I was trained like taking exams, and when I listen to the lecture, I know to listen for the like 重点, for the key key information that might appear in the exam.
So you're better at picking up whatever class in the university.
But after the exam, I mean I forget most of it like other students do. So, but I think it's trained, being good at taking exams.
So what about you? What are some of the strengths or a good size of the Chinese K-12 education, do you think?
The good size, it provides people, students, with ability to get high mark. I think to get a high mark equals a certain very strong ability as well. But I still want to balance this thing because the other day I was live streaming, somehow teaching the viewers and the subscribers ways to crack some kind of 4 or band 4, band 6 English exams. I went, do you rent rooms by the week? You see, I'm not sure whether to stay for a whole month. Yes, the rates are higher though. It's $50 a week, but only $160 per month. Question, how much would the man owe if he rents the room for 3 weeks? The moment I said that, one of the viewers raised his hand and goes, 150. Hey, you don't even speak English. How could you possibly guess it correctly? Because he said, well, I heard 3 and 50. So the key points should be like 3 times 50 something.
Or something
So he
related to 3 and 50.
guessed it correctly. But he doesn't speak English. So in Chinese we call 管中窥豹. It's a small point, but we can see a bigger picture via this small point. I always mention the darker side, sorry about that. But it's true.
Okay,
but it's true. But for mathematics, for Chinese, I think you cannot get a high mark only when you get a very comprehensive knowledge about the whole picture. I think maths and Chinese, how could you possibly, write a good composition without reading thousands of books? I mean that. It's good, it's both good and bad.
But as you said that most Chinese students, they are better at taking tests, or they're better at mathematics or some tougher subjects. I think there's another reason for that, is that Chinese students really work harder than other students. Because in our culture, we value hard working a lot. We think that diligence is the most important thing. But in Western countries, they believe in genius or innate ability, like I said. Because there's a Chinese proverb called 勤能补拙, which means diligence could cure lack of talent, right? So we don't believe there's a lack of talent, actually. We just think if you want to do it well, then just put enough efforts. Which is kind of the truth. If you really put enough effort or more efforts into it, you can see the results.
Yeah. And I think having the ability to work hard is also a talent.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not just about stupidly working hard. It's about strategically working hard. But do you think that kind of value or education that you received in China also prepared you for your career development?
Said yes or no, because I did learn to work hard through my years of education in China. But while I was in college in the States, I worked hard to the point that I began thinking, why am I working so hard? And that was a very, that's like the key question. Like at some point, every kid has to think about like why am I working this hard? I'm in this good college. It seems to
Where
be.
were you then?
I was in Cornell.
In Cornell.
Yeah, and it would seem like a good destination of my 12-year education, and now I've accomplished it. And now why am I working so hard? And to get a job, what kind of job? A job that gives me money? Do I need that money? Like, and then it all became like my world sort of collapsed and rebuilt. And then my system was slightly different. Like, I do work hard, but it's only for the things I enjoy or I know it's worth working hard for. I don't just blindly work hard for everything, which really gave me a lot of spare time to enjoy life. Yeah.
Was coming from
You're here to
Hebei
reveal the
province.
darker side.
I came from Hebei province, where education rocks a lot. Right.
Okay.
Shandong province. Hebei
what is it
province,
called?
Jiangsu province.
Hebei, there's a famous high school.
Hengshui.
Hengshui.
Yes.
And I'm from the Harbin version of
Oh.
Hengshui. Yeah, Hengshui.
Good for you.
Hengshui.
So we're so familiar
Yeah.
with that.
The rebound turned out to be like I started to totally enjoy life after taking the college entrance examinations. I almost took every single competition held in university. I visited more places when I was admitted to university, and I made new friends. I took competitions related to language as well as music, and I met so many people. I found my campus life was terrific. It was
But-
more than great.
But do you think your eagerness to outperform than your peers is kind of like instilled in the Chinese foundation education?
I once took an exam psychologically. It said I was born to be an athlete or a competitor. Yeah.
So you still believe that it's kind of like your innate ability instead of a result of being educated, being trained, right?
Right, somehow I feel myself as a contradictory person. But somehow I did absorb the brighter side of the 12 years of hard work. Yeah, I can say that. And you can say that again.
But like I said, Gaokao might not be the perfect exam for all people across the country, but we have to admit that it provides opportunity for those from humble backgrounds, from rural countries. It's their social ladder, and for those from middle class families, education might not play as big a role as it did decades ago.
Right.
Do you agree with that? In our parents' generation, university graduates, they're assigned a good job. So if you're graduating from a very top-notch university, then you can get well paid. You can get a very satisfying job, a very decent job, but it's a completely different story now.
Yeah.
There are millions of university graduates or even PhDs from university or even top-notch universities, and simply to find that it's really hard to find a job.
So
Why finding a job? May I ask you, why always finding a job? Does finding a job something a big deal? Why not try to explore into the unfamiliar that keeps cropping up in our life instead of just solely immerse yourself in the world of your own, facing up so many subjects that's been required only for Gaokao? Why is that? Can I raise that question?
Why finding a job?
Why finding a job?
Because I get paid.
yeah,
Okay.
we have to make
Okay. Can we say that right now you are a freelancer?
Yes.
Yes. So it's a job as well.
I lost my full-time job.
Okay. You lost. Finding a job can be taken as a byproduct of life. If you enjoy life, if you realize the importance of enjoy life, you could encounter a job instead of finding a job or searching for a
So
job.
here comes
My next question. So, do you think that education equals or education still matters that much to a person's career development now?
Education matters.
Matters, but that not necessarily equals to, right? to occur,
what-
the chances of success in one's life?
I mean, it's never, nothing is ever equal to
Right.
something.
And it couldn't guarantee, right?
I can't
It
guarantee.
just can't guarantee.
No, but you have a greater chance of getting a better job because some people might just look at the school you're from and be like, "Ooh, you know, you're from that school. You must be very good. You must be very intelligent. Let's hire this kid." And there are like for example, the company I went to my first full-time job in the States, they actually have this Cornell mafia. Like out of a team of 10 people, 6 or 7 were from Cornell, and they hire people from Cornell every year, and that's just the way it is. So I guess going to Cornell did help me secure my first full-time job. But does that make me more qualified than the other students who graduated from other schools? I don't think so. Like the first month, second month after entering that full-time job, I started learning everything new. Like there weren't much knowledge I brought from Cornell that could directly apply to this job. So I would assume any student from any other college who came to this job position would do as well as I did, but I graduated from Cornell and there are alumni all over the office, so they hired me. I guess that's sort of the university privilege that you get when you go to a good university.
Yeah, it's kind of like a privilege, or you can say that a good education background can make it easier for you to get access to better jobs, but it does not necessarily guarantee you a perfect career development.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Especially, and nowadays there are so many, that society is getting more diversified and we are facing different kind of opportunities. Like you, how do you feel like doing a freelancer or KOL?
It's great. Everyone should become a KOL. I actually
Tell
believe
us about your job, how fascinating it is.
It's just I sometimes this is what the way I want to put it. So sometimes I work until 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning working on my materials, my videos, but I don't feel like I'm overworking. I don't feel like 加班 at all. I am just I don't have the burden of I'm working so hard, I'm so tired. No, not at all. I just enjoy it. I love it, and if I don't want to do something, I can choose not to, and then I can focus on the parts I like. I get to choose when to work and what to work on, which is great. And I enjoy. I am the sole benefit. Like I am the sole benefiter. Like I myself enjoy all the good outcomes of my hard work.
You're the only boss and you're the only benefiter.
Yes, of everything, and it feels.
Sounds cool. But do you think your fantastic education background also help you with the KOL career? Like they follow you, your followers are attracted by your fascinating education background, by your Cornell.
I never know because I don't have the chance to relive my life another way and test if people would still like me. So I guess I'm always privileged. It's a part of me, and I think every part of me helped me become this KOL thing.
Steve Jobs once said during his speech at Stanford University, if I remember rightly, connecting the dots. The very first point was connecting the dots. Life was, but we can realize it. We can only realize it afterwards, not in advance. So I think everything we encountered and experienced in the past may, be a big help in the future.
So we should, if you're a student, if you're still young, you should study hard.
Yes.
You should work hard. But if you fail the test, you should tell yourself that there's still opportunities ahead.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even if when you're a student, you should start exploring the KOL path. It's always out there.
Oh, John Boy is also exploring
The
his
KOL.
KOL path.
I think right.
How's your KOL path going?
I'm not doing it on purpose.
Okay.
I do it for fun. Money, fame, reputation, all kinds of success, temptations, all come as byproducts. If you really want to enjoy your life, you can get everything that you want.
So you think money, fame, temptation, they're all byproducts?
Just hold your horses, they will come.
But what
If
is
you
it?
really love if you really choose what you love to do. Back in high school, I said to myself, if I didn't get a good grade in mathematics, I would say, these problems don't fit me. It's their fault. It's not mine.
Brainwashing
He's keep brainwashing.
I think. Being
Yeah.
optimistic.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just teaching myself via that. But not all could have that kind of ability. But I think everyone should have the ability to adjust and try to find the balance. No matter it's work, no matter it's study, no matter it's what kind of thing. Try to find the balance. Try to love the life and cherish it.
There's not a single event or a single person or a single success or failure is important enough to ruin your life.
Yeah.
Right, for me.
I feel like especially when, we're still young, but when I was younger, I tend to overemphasize the importance of a single incident, but actually it's not. Like if I look back and I'd be like, oh, why was I crying over that again? Like it was totally not worth my time, feeling sad about it. So I guess right now, looking at the bad things that are happening right now, I would try to move like 10 years forward and look back and then.
We shouldn't have been upset about that.
Right, like
Yes.
it's not worth it.
Yes. So I think life is really like a marathon. There are for sure full of ups and downs throughout the journey, and we don't have to necessarily be at the front all through the journey. And at the end, we can realize that the only competitor is ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. So last but not least, what would you like to say to those high school graduates who are going to embark on their new journey in the university in a couple of weeks?
Oh, they're going to begin their semester in college? But right now it's summer vacation, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy your summer vacation. Do something fun, do something crazy. Don't take boring classes.
Nothing deeper than that.
Yeah.
Okay, just have fun.
Me the same way. But your future only lies in your hands.
Have fun and enjoy your life.
Yeah.
That's all. All right. All right. So glad that we had this talk today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.